Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to a game that I have not touched with a barge pole for a long time. It's War Thunder. Yeah, I haven't played War Thunder in a long fucking time. Mainly because towards the end of the time I spent playing this game, I was only ever interested in the simulator battles. And back when I last played War Thunder, which was ages ago, mind you, I don't think this big hanger shit we're here. The whole menu screen was different back when I last played it. But anyway, just before I left War Thunder for good, or I thought anyway, they changed simulator battles and then basically made them like arcade battles in the sense that it was planes from any side fighting against planes from any side in silly arcadey maps that were very small, and I just didn't want anything to do with that. I thought it was really dumb. It took ages for you to find a match anyway. You had to sit there waiting in queue for about 10 minutes just to get a single match with about 5 people. And so I thought, what the hell am I wasting my time with this for? And I went off and promptly went to play other better simulators like Cliffs of Dover and Battle of Stalingrad. However, I came back to this today. After a little while, actually a couple of days ago, I had another go at it then, very briefly. Mostly just setting up controls and shit. This is the first time I actually went into a battle. They've changed it now. Basically, simulator battles exist only in the form of an event. An Air Simulator Battles event. And what this essentially does is it means you can only pick, for example at the minute, British or Japanese aircraft. But what it does is it funnels every single simulator player into one queue. And in my experience so far, it seems to have been the case that it makes the battles go much, much quicker. The queue is much, much shorter, especially depending on the time of day. But that's pretty cool, honestly. Means that you can get into battles pretty fast now, which is something you definitely couldn't do back in the past. So that's what I did. I decided, fuck it, let's give War Thunder Simulator Battles a go. I drop into this game every now and again to see how it's been progressing. I usually don't stick around, but I figured this time, what the fuck, might as well. So, I jumped up into my Tempest Mark V, because, to be fair to War Thunder, credit where it's due, the Tempest is one of my favourite World War II aircraft, and this game is one of the very few that actually simulates it. So, yeah, decided to get my Tempest Mark V, load up a simulator battle, and see how I got on, and sort of, you know, see how War Thunder's been getting on in the meantime. And on the whole, spoilers, but on the whole, I'm reasonably impressed. It's still not brilliant, but it's much better than it was before, to the point where I'm actually enjoying it. To an extent, the variety of aircraft is nice. That's something that other sims like Cliffs of Dover and Battle of Stalingrad sorely lack, after all. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to show you a replay from a battle I did earlier that went pretty well. And yeah, you guys be the judge, I suppose. Okay, here we are. So, here I am in my Tempest 5, and the lineup is as follows. We have a Lancaster, we have a Seafire FR-47, which sure as hell wasn't in the game when I last played it. I'm going to be, if I stick around in this game, I'll be grinding towards that motherfucker, because I love the Seafire 47. A Meteor F3, a Beaufighter Mark 10, and a Spitfire 5B, but the last two are bots, so forget it. Another thing is, I think you seem to be able to join games that are in progress now in simulator battles, which is, again, something of an improvement, to be honest with you, just because it means you get more players and less bots. Since I think we've just had someone join here. Yeah, 2 guys joined, they've replaced the bots, so that's pretty awesome. Anyway, here I am in my Tempest Mark V, and we've got a Meteor on our team, and I'm thinking, shit, great. Right, that means that the other team's going to have jets, and, wow, Dave, fuck a duck, didn't you pick the best plane to start in War Thunder after not having played it for almost a year? You're going to fight jets and prop. Well done, mate, well done. But you know what, I figure, what the hell, might as well. Hopefully there'll be some props on the enemy team as well, and there are. It mostly consists of Japanese planes, which I do not know what the fuck they are. Some of them are jets. There's a weird looking prop thing there, which I don't know if it's a jet or not, to be honest with you. And some N1K2Js, which I do know what those are, and I do know how they fight. I mean, to be honest with you, most of the success you may get in simulator battles, and in, well, just in any flight sim in general, is just by knowing what your plane can do and what the enemy's plane can't do. Unfortunately, in this battle, I haven't got a fucking clue when it comes to most of the enemy Japanese stuff, but we'll give it a go anyway. So yeah, I'm actually gonna, well, not much point yet, but anyway, I'm gonna switch us to the in-cockpit view for most of this. Now, I should point out you're seeing lots of info here on the screen that I did not see in the battle. This is because we're watching a replay. For example, I was not in third-person view, I was in first-person view. Switch to player's own view. This is what I was seeing, and the replay has tracked my head movements as well. Also, it seems to have. That's weird. I wasn't in virtual cockpit mode, I can tell you that much. See, except the replay seems to have put us in that, which is a little odd, but hey. Fucking War Thunder, man. This worked the first time I watched the replay, but now it doesn't want to, apparently. Well, great. Ain't that just grand? Well, you know what? I'm going to restart the replay and see if I can get it working. But anyway, yeah, hold on. Okay, it seems to be sorted now. There you go. Even as I tentatively try and endorse this game, it insists on doing something really stupid that makes me think twice about it. But hey, I had to reload this replay about twice, actually, to get it to behave, but never mind. Anyway, so yeah, this is what I'm seeing. In fact, I can actually turn off markers, and then you'll see almost exactly what I was seeing, minus all these HUD elements here. So as you can see, simulator battles, you're stuck in cockpit view, and you have no markers over anything except friendly planes. When you get very, very close to a friendly plane, it comes up with a blue marker. Enemy planes don't get markers, though. Yeah, and it's tracking my head movements right now as you saw them in the game. See, right there, I was checking my instruments. I'm keeping an eye on my instruments a lot during this. You have this info up here as well as some other stuff that's not displayed in the replay. But mostly I'm keeping an eye on the instruments because it's what I'm used to. And also because it shows you stuff that you don't see otherwise, like your variometer's rate of climb. And your side slip as well, which I'm correcting with my rudder, that sort of thing. So anyway, I decided I'm going to escort this Lancaster for a bit because I don't see anything else. I've climbed up quite a bit. I'm running my engine. I can't remember what settings I'm running my engine at the minute. Every now and again I keep having to cut the throttle just to cool it down because it overheats very quickly. But anyway, yeah. Let's go on the Lancaster for now just because I've got nothing better to do. Until eventually I think I spot something over the other end of the map which makes me turn around. So yeah, here I am flying the Tempest, one of my favourite aeroplanes from World War II. It was designed by Sidney Cam, the man who designed the Typhoon and the Hurricane. And the Tempest, unlike the previous two, is one of the few of Sidney Cam's designs from World War II that wasn't actually filled with these horrible sort of performance-degrading flaws. Sidney Cam tended to make a lot of planes that were functionally very rugged and easy to use and tough. But they suffered in the aerodynamics department as a result of it, which really inhibited their speed and performance. The Hurricane and the Typhoon were particularly bad for that. The Tempest, on the other hand, was developed a bit more intelligently. It was given laminar flow wings, not unlike the ones you'd find on a P-51 Mustang. That's basically where they borrowed the technology from, which are quite low drag, which means that it doesn't turn so well, but it's very, very fast in dives and in straight lines and stuff. It's also got a very powerful engine. I think it's a Napier Sabre something or other. 24-cylinder configuration. Incredibly powerful engine. Which makes sure this thing goes enormously fast. I mean, the performance of this fucking thing is unbelievable. It's why it usually gets tiered against jets in this game, I think. Because it outperforms most prop planes out there. Anyway, yeah, there's a big little battle going on down here. Most of it seems to be AI planes, but there's some other stuff flying around down there, which I figure, and I'll put the markers on for you guys, because you probably won't be able to see this on YouTube. I could barely see it in-game myself, to be honest, so I can't expect you guys to be able to see it on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, and there's clearly a little battle going on down here. This guy in his Spitfire is shooting at something. I don't really know what. It's smoking, though. But, so I go down there tentatively. I'm trying to stay high and dive steeply when I go down just to maintain my speed. If it's a Japanese jet, I'll be able to outturn it. If it's a Japanese prop, I will not be able to outturn it, and I need to rely on being able to go much faster than they are. Now, I'm closing in on this guy, and I'm not opening fire, because I can't ID it. Now, in retrospect, having got that close and not having had a blue marker pop up probably means that it was enemy, and it almost certainly was. I don't know what kind of plane it was, but I didn't fire at the time because he was already smoking. And in fact, I think he has just gone down. That he was already smoking, and he looked a bit like a meteor. And we do have a meteor on our team, so I decided that I'd better not risk it. So I didn't. And he went down shortly afterwards anyway. I think he was already damaged by a player, and I think flak killed him in the end, so... whatever it was. Don't know what kind of plane that was. But anyway, that could have been an easy kill for me if I'd remembered the whole markings, tags thing. But never mind. As I said, this is the first game of War Thunder I've played in almost a year, so you have to cut me some slack here. So I go down here, I see something, it's a parachute, but I also see something else, I think. I'm not seeing it at the minute watching the replay, I have to be honest with you, but I think I might have seen it at the time. Or whatever it was, I think I lost it, which is why I'm going back up now. Got to maintain your altitude advantage over these Japanese props so you can boom and zoom them, which is easier said than done in this game because you can't see shit down there. Now there's a guy going after this Spitfire here who's in trouble because Spitfires, honestly, they suffer against Japanese planes because they can't really outrun them or outturn them or anything. So he's in a world of shit. And I can't quite see him. Every time this guy changes his wing angle against the sea, he keeps disappearing. He's upside down now so I can see his white belly, so now I've got him. I'm coming in. He shot down the Spitfire, but there we go, he's on fire. And I pull up again, and I'm a little bit cautious here at this point because normally if I set a plane on fire in a simulator like this, I expect him to go down and crash. Which he does, but this is War Thunder, so I can't be entirely certain the fire won't just go out and he'll start climbing up after me, so... But anyway, that's kill number one. I think that was an N1K something or other. I can't quite remember exactly, but anyway. And there's more Japs around here. There's one just going under my nose. We just merged essentially in a sort of semi-head-on, so I follow the golden rule of a head-on and go up vertical afterwards, and he doesn't. He seems to have ignored me completely, which means he's in trouble now. He's going after another Spitfire. A lot more friendlies around here than I realised there were at the time, actually, to be fair. But again, that's because the visibility in these simulator battles is pretty bad. As flight simulators go, War Thunder has some of the worst visibility I've ever seen. It's incredibly hard to spot things like that plane that just went past me up there that you're probably yelling about in the chat in the comments. I didn't see that. So I should also point out, just as we close in on this second guy here, that this replay doesn't quite mimic my exact movements and stuff in the game itself, but this guy pulls up in front of me and he makes it easy, to be honest with you. He's got too target fixated on that other fella, and the Mark V Hispanos and the Tempest just rip him to fucking shreds. There's some of the best cannons in the game, actually, and there were some of the best cannons in World War II, the Mark V Hispanos. They're very, very rapid fire, 20mm cannons that fired some of the best ammunition that was available as well, so that guy just got totally shreked as a result. Yeah, as I said, it doesn't mimic my exact movements. I'm actually pulling a lot more lead on these targets when I fire at them in real life than I am in the replay. I think it's just the limitations of the replay system. It doesn't quite get the exact movements of the plane right. Which is a shame, but, you know, I guess what else can you hope for? And now I think I'm cutting throttle big time right now, because after that entire confrontation I've overheated my engine to buggery, and I'm desperately trying to cool it down. And I think there is 3 guys left on the enemy team now, an N1K2, something called an R2Y2, and a KI-200, which is a Japanese knockoff of a ME-163 Comet. And I'm just looking around right now, and I'm seeing all these friendlies down here, and I can't tell if they're enemies or not because they're too far away. But there is this guy down here, and there's this guy here. Now this, don't know what fucking plane this is, but at the time I wasn't sure either. It's probably the R2Y2, looking at the side thing there. But I'm going after him, I'm shooting. I can't tell if this, to be honest with you, I couldn't tell at the time if this guy was a jet or a prop. However, I'm shooting at him. I've got the ammo to spare, lots of ammo in the Tempest. So I'm making some speculative long shots, but I don't have any tracers because I'm using the air target ammo for this, which I realised during this battle doesn't give you any tracers. Which is probably for the best, because firing tracers in sim battles in this game seems to make you just an instant target for everyone who's looking for one, because you can see them from miles away. But anyway, yeah, I can't hit him. My gun convergence was probably not good enough, and he's getting away, and at this point I've realised this is clearly a jet. If he's outrunning a Tempest on the deck, then he's absolutely flying a jet plane. So I just climb up, decide to try and get some altitude. There's a meteor down there behind me somewhere. I figure we'll let him chase it. Might as well. Yeah, I'm checking my 6 and everything at this point, and leveling off, and having an opportunity to cool my engine at the minute. I don't see the enemy guy. I see the meteor down there, and I figure, fuck it, I'm going to go find another target. So I fly over this way where I can see more dots. And I start getting hit by flak at this point, so I'm trying to jostle the plane around a little bit to try and avoid it. I have not particularly fond memories of the flak accuracy in this game, to be honest with you. I've had many a decent game of War Thunder for me has been ruined in the past by random flak bursts. So anyway, we come in here, and it's mostly AI Hellcats over here, to be honest. And I'm suddenly realising that as I fly past them now. It's difficult to tell from a distance, but now I'm up close to them, I can tell that's definitely a fucking Hellcat. We've got a meteor here who's chasing. Yeah, it's the KI-200. So of all the enemy planes left, I had to bump into this fucker. KI-200, for those that don't know, is a rocket-powered plane. It is incredibly stupid fast. And it climbs like, well, a rocket, because it is a fucking rocket. I mean... The downside to it is it has, like, barely 5 minutes of fuel, I think. So once it's airborne, it doesn't stay airborne for very long. It's a very weird aeroplane. But it's still quite a dangerous one. And I've lost track of it, really, at this point. Okay, there it is again. Meteor's chasing up after him. I'm really wondering at this point what the hell I can actually do against a KI-200 in my Tempest. But he's going under me at this point, so I'm sticking around and seeing if I can maybe get a dive on him. He's manoeuvring a lot, this KI-200, which means he's probably losing a lot of speed. And again, I keep losing contact with him. I'm looking at those AI planes down there, and I'm thinking, are they the enemy? But I realise, no, they're Hellcats again. So, and at this point I need to start cooling off my engine anyway, because it's getting pretty hot from what I remember. I think the engine was getting well over to 100 degrees on my oil, which is bad. The water's not so bad, you can cool that off pretty quickly, but the oil takes longer to cool. I've tried enabling manual engine settings in this game, but I can't seem to do it. It all just seems to be automated, which annoys me, to be honest with you. I'd like to be able to adjust my prop pitch and stuff like that independently to get better performance and better cooling, but whatever. It's War Thunder. What I can say is that the flight modelling seems to be mostly alright. Things like that aside, and I think it really depends on the plane. The actual controls and the flight modelling seem to be alright. The Tempest seems to fly exactly as it should. The controls seem to work okay. And oh yeah, okay, pay attention, Dave. You're about to get fucking raped in the ass by a KI-200. Luckily though, even though he's hit me with what I think might be a 30mm cannon, it doesn't seem to have done much damage, so I'm still in the game. And this guy, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he figured because he can outturn a meteor, he can outturn a Tempest, but he is very sorely mistaken, as he's about to find out. He just does a load of silly manoeuvring, and then he goes straight up vertical, which is something you never fucking do if the enemy has got energy with you. And there you go, I shot down a fucking rocket plane in the Tempest. But, you know, he kind of made it easy. He sort of handed me that, but still, I felt quite chuffed after that. That's kill number 3. And that's pretty much the end of it now. They've got, I think, they've got a few planes left, but they're just sort of running away at this point. I think there's a guy in chat at the moment, if you could see the chat, who was complaining about the enemy planes just running for it. But it doesn't really matter at this point, because as you see at the top here, their tickets are almost out. So, presumably because of people going after ground targets, I suppose, maybe the little AI Hellcat's blowing up some ground targets, but yeah, the game is over at this point. They had 4 guys left on their side, but it's a non-issue now at this point. I'm still checking my 6, so I don't want to get snuck up on again, but... yeah, it's done. It's done. 3 kills. Not sure what the first 2 were. I think they were M1K2Js. And then of course we got the KI200 as well. And there you are. I'll probably overlay some screenshots of the final score screen at this point, if I've remembered to do it in editing. So you can see what I got out of it, but yeah. 3 kills for me. Top of the team. Not bad, considering I haven't played this game in nearly a year. But I do love the fucking Tempest. It's one of my favourite planes, and I know how to handle it. And I knew roughly how to exploit the enemy's weaknesses, and it helped that in some cases... like the KI200, that nut job in the KI200, they just sort of handed me it, really. So yeah, that was alright. That really wasn't bad at all. Again, I don't know what he was thinking. It doesn't matter if you're flying a jet or a rocket or whatever, if you maneuver around like that, do a bunch of horizontal turns with a prop plane on your ass who's got quite a bit of energy and a powerful engine and a good climb rate, you don't pull straight fucking up, because he's just going to shoot you in the arse. I mean, what he should have done is he should have just leveled out, got into a shallow dive, and extended away from me. Then he could have come straight back up, and then come down on me, and then he could have boomed and zoomed me. But no, he just... Anyway, I guess because he assumed he had a rocket engine, he could just outclimb anything, in any circumstance. But that's not how the laws of physics work. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a little bit of War Thunder, a game which, as I said, I have not touched with a barge pole for quite some time, but I'm slowly kind of getting back into it at the minute, because it's... I don't know, Gaijin seem to have got their act together a bit in the simulator battles department. I'm told the tank simulator battles are pretty good as well, but I don't really like tanks very much, so it's not of any interest to me. But yeah, no, not bad. Not bad on the whole. I'm liking the changes I've seen, and I may be doing some more of this in the future, because it's a nice sort of more casual, quick alternative to logging into Cliffs of Dover or whatever for 3 hours and flying around a massive map. If I wanted just a quick flight simulator fix in a huge variety of different aeroplanes, then War Thunder is actually not too bad for that. Again, I probably wouldn't touch the realistic and arcade modes with a barge pole even now, but mouse and keyboard using scum! Yeah. If you've got a joystick and you've got a track IR and all that sort of shit, War Thunder simulator battles aren't too bad. You could do worse. You certainly could do worse. It's about on the level of the old IL-2 1946, to be honest with you. I think that's mainly what it is. It's like that, just with slightly better graphics. So yeah. Oh, and I love this. This is seriously goddamn cool. And this. Got an armoured windscreen, bulletproof glass, 44.45 millimeters. Effective thickness of 54. Oh, and it changes depending on the angle I'm pointed at it. That's really cool. So that tells you whether or not a bullet's going to go through the windscreen at certain angles. That's interesting. And you've got the armoured seat as well as the armoured headrest. And an X-ray view of all the control modules, like the liquid cooling system, engine, fuel tanks, spars for the wings, control cables, the armament. This is really fucking cool, I might add. Like, credit where it's due for all its failings. War Thunder, this is really great. This would, if you could get this in other games like Cliffs of Dover and Battle of Stalingrad and all that sort of shit, it would stop so much bitching about damage models and stuff. If you could get an X-ray view and see where every single component in the aeroplane is, it would just, I don't know, it would just educate people, I guess. Instead of having them just bitch and whine about stuff. You know. If 109 pilots in Cliffs of Dover could get an X-ray view and see just how big their radiators are and their wings, they would probably stop complaining so much about them getting shot. But anyway, yeah, that's a pretty neat thing, and just in general, yeah, I'm more impressed than I thought I'd be with War Thunder, so I'm probably not going to play it very often, I've got to say. Cliffs of Dover and DCS and all that are still my primary flight simulators of choice, but this is alright, you know? This is okay. It's not as bad as I thought. It used to be pretty bad, to be fair. I mean, that's why I stopped playing, but it's improved. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll stop waffling now, and I'll see you guys whenever.